about it, Nancy. I called today. She worked for a bus company, and we had heard that she worked driving a school bus. She does drive a school bus. There was no school here in Chicago last Friday. However, when I talked to the owner of that bus company and said, well, was she off work? And he said, no, she was working. She was driving another bus, not a school bus. Because the thinking is that she's the person, we know that she's the person who discovered the bodies of her mother and brother at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I thought that meant that she'd finished her route, her school route, and then went and found the bodies. We don't know really where she was or what kind of bus she was driving, but she was at work at least until 3 o'clock when she came home.
It was my understanding she had been alibied at the get-go. To Dr. Jeff Gardere, psychologist and author, Dr. Gardere, it is very, very rare for a woman to commit a murder such as this statistically.
Yes, absolutely. And we also have to look at the situation here that her son was also killed, and so this is something that definitely she would not want to do, and the motivation just does not seem to be there.
I mean, statistically, it's virtually impossible. We are taking your calls to Lori in Maryland. Hi, Lori.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, dear. What's your question?
I was wondering, I know they have the person of interest, but does anybody know where the biological father of this boy is?
Excellent question. To Kathy Cheney with the Chicago Defender joining us in Chicago. Kathy, what do we know about the bio dad?
The father, he was not around until Saturday when they made the public plea for, you know, whoever had Julian to come forward and, you know, come back with his safe return. That's the only time that we have seen Greg King at this situation was on
What
Saturday.
more can you tell us, Kathy?
Greg King, he used to be involved with Julia, and from my understanding, reports say that he and Jason Hudson, the slain brother, they were mixed up in some type of drug deal. The house was raided in 2004, the house over there where the bodies were found. And Greg King, he did go to jail on a drug conviction, and he served about a couple of years. Jason Hudson, he did not get any jail time, but he was told to sign up for like a drug abuse program. So he was not, he did not serve any jail time.
Also joining us tonight, Natalie Thomas. She's the deputy news editor with Us Weekly magazine. Ms. Thomas, thank you for being with us. Does Balfour, the person of interest, have an attorney yet?
Thanks for having me. As we know, he does not have an attorney. We're not sure whether that he denied an attorney or he has just not been offered one yet, but as we know now, he does not have an attorney now.
Are there any other potential persons of interest? What about the emerging theory that more than one person may have been involved with the Hudson murders?
Sources are telling us that there may be another person involved, but as of right now, there have been no other persons of interest named besides William Balfour.
And any chance, according to your research, that this was a random attack? Natalie?
No, we don't believe that it was a random attack. While sources admitted to us and neighbors and family members that it is a dangerous neighborhood that they live in, no one believes that it was a random act of violence. Everyone believes that it was a domestic-related issue.
Back to Susan Rosen, CNN correspondent, standing by where police have just swarmed the area and recovered what could be the murder weapon. Why did the family insist on staying in the area? They said that gunshots were a routine happening, that they heard them so much they hardly paid attention to them anymore.
It's true, Nancy, but you know, home is where your heart is. This is where Jennifer Hudson grew up. This is where the whole family lived. Big, beautiful 3-story home until this happened, of course. Yeah, it may be bad, but it's their home, their hood. They weren't moving anywhere.
We are taking your calls live out to the lawyers. Let's unleash them. Joining me tonight, child advocate Susan Moss, veteran defense attorney Renee Rockwell out of Atlanta, and Alan Ripka, defense attorney out of New York. First to you, Susan Moss, weigh in.
With this gun, they're going to find someone, and ultimately a conviction will be done. This is the beginning, and now the police have their work cut out for them. But with finding this essential key, it's going to be only time till they crack this case.
Renee, once you're named a person of interest, do you believe the right to have Miranda rights is imposed?
Well, Nancy, anytime someone is in custody, even though he's in custody for a parole violation, if they're talking to him, all he has to say is the word lawyer, and they'll stop.
And to you, Alan Ripka, do you really believe he was picked up on a minor infraction, like not reporting to his parole officer?
Well, Nancy, they probably used that as an excuse just to get a hold of him, because obviously that wouldn't have been enough to hold him.
Only an animal would do something like that, man. A heartless person, man. A heartless person. A child innocent, man. He deserved nothing like this.